All right, here we go. Thank you so much for checking out the video. This is Show, and today we're going to be talking about Front Mission First Remake. I am extremely happy to be playing this game. Oh my gosh, this is exactly what I wanted for Tactics Ogre, and I really wish it would have been the same way. So, with that said, this game has been getting crushed with the reviewers. Like, if you're not a fan of strategy games, don't review them. Like, seriously, don't review them. Like, every problem that people are saying that this game is horrible is because it's literally bringing you the game from 20, 30 years ago. Like, yeah, it's an old game, but it's okay because it's back in its entirety and it's beautiful, and we have to appreciate that. So this is going to be a review of Front Mission First Remake, and thank you so much Forever Games for doing this. Okay, so let's get into it. What is this game? Front Mission First Remake is honestly what I would really consider to be a remaster of the 2007 DS port for the original Front Mission, which in fact was a Japanese exclusive on the PlayStation 1 and Famicom, and that's something that a lot of people who are not doing their research, i.e. games journalists, are not really realizing. So there you go. The overall premise of Front Mission is having you placed between a conflict with major superpowers, and then you'll need to navigate the sinister corruption and human experimentation plots that go on. This is fairly standard for the series, but this is basically what you'll be dealing with a lot in this particular game. Now, following its PlayStation and DS port, this game contains 2 campaigns covering both sides of the war, as well as offering different perspectives of each side. So you're not just going to get, the same story missions done back to back. It's different missions, different story essentially. You're just getting different perspectives of the conflict from each of the sides. So it's really good in that way. Now, honestly, I will admit, talking about the story, that sometimes it's kind of a bit wanky. And the reason I'm saying that is because you're basically beginning in media res. So you're not going to get the slow start backgrounds you would in most other games you're dealing with. This game has to move quickly to establish the backgrounds and so forth. However, once you get through a few opening missions that kind of sets the tone, sets the characters, the plot really starts to thicken, and then if you've enjoyed, again, any of the previous Front Mission titles that's honestly not Front Mission involved or Left Behind, you'll be right at home. Furthermore, like the originals, as you beat the missions, or I should say as you beat the campaigns, you'll unlock increasingly higher difficulties that you can challenge yourself with. So the game offers a load of replayability by just allowing you to beat it, and if you want to try again harder, you can come back and do it again even harder. The game also, and this is really good from Forever, so thank you for doing this. The game offers a classic and modern mode. Now, the classic mode basically keeps everything from the original / the DS remake. So you have the old school sound, you have the old school camera control, which is to say you have really no camera control, and the usage of mini-maps are gone. The modern mode allows for, I guess, more of the modern whistles we're used to, free camera control, updated sound, mini-maps. And the game also claims to have some fixes, though I'm not going to lie, I'm not really sure what they are. I'm still working to figure out what those fixes are. But honestly speaking, between both the modes, the visual direction remains the same, so you still have these updated graphics, but you'll just have difference of your sound quality as well as your camera control. As for the visuals, I find them incredibly impressive and quite unique. They are impressive as they fit for the more modern consoles, so we no longer have those cute sprites we like, but these are great 3D renditions of these Wanzers. However, the big thing I want to talk about is just the art direction. For those of you who don't know, Yoshitaka Amano, who is the concept illustrator for Final Fantasy, also did the concept art for this game back in the day, and his visuals do make comebacks in the game through character portraits. What really gets me, though, is I feel like the devs put his color scheme in the actual visuals we see. I don't know, there's just something about the color of this game that feels very Amano for me, much more than I've seen with actual Final Fantasy titles, so I really enjoy the visual direction. And that ties in beautifully with the audio direction as well, because it is absolutely banging. This is another work where Yoko Shimomura has given her contributions to, and her talents are definitely on display here. And kudos once again to Forever Games, but they've added a sound comparison mode in the game. So you can actually listen to the OG style of the song and the remastered style of the song, which is fantastic. More games need to do this, honestly. As for performance, it's honestly super smooth, and it should be. This is basically like a modern DS port. It plays extremely well. I've had no drops, no bumps, no issues at all. So excellent job there, Forever. Okay, so I feel like this is something I'm gonna have to cover in detail, but I want to do it as quickly as possible because there is some old school gameplay and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but just kind of bear with me with this. In any case, the game is divided into two parts. You have your towns and then you have your battles. In towns, you'll visit shops, go to bars, talk to people, you'll unlock their units through doing this, you'll unlock new missions, and you'll just get more immersed in the world's lore. It's honestly a very simple process. You have a menu, you select where to go, and then you go and do your business. It's also important to point out that there is an arena where you can earn some extra cheddar. To do so, you'll basically have to bet against yourself, so it might be beneficial to understand how odds and betting actually work, because it basically is like the real thing. As for battles play out like traditional tactics RPGs. You field your units, which are giant mechs called wanzas, and you have the ability to move, attack, or use items on your turn, so it's pretty straightforward, right? In order to attack, you'll need to be in range of an enemy, and then you'll select from a list of weapons you have equipped on your Wanzer, and then you let it roll. So you move into the battle screen, and then this is where I guess some of the concern comes up. So let me explain how this works. Basically, Wanzers have 4 parts. They have a body, left and right arms, and then legs. When you attack, you have the potential to do damage to any of these parts. Yes, any of the parts. So for example, if you have a one-shot rifle or melee knuckles, you can do massive damage to a single part, but it is random on which part gets the hit. With that said, multi-hitting weapons, such as machine guns, can hit multiple parts in a spread fire, but each part will take less damage. Again, which parts get hit and how often is random. So, when a part takes enough damage, it gets destroyed, and then a penalty is incurred. Now, if you destroy the legs, then basically the unit becomes immobile. If you destroy the arms, whichever arm, any weapons equipped to that arm are immediately disabled, and if you destroy the body, it's an instant KO. So if you fully destroy the body, the unit will die regardless of the life of the arms or the legs. Now, with all of that said, and that randomness that I know is probably in the back of your mind, there are pilot skills and some weapons that allow for targeted attacks. So if you have this skill equipped or you have this weapon equipped, you can freely choose what you want to attack. So let's talk about pilot skills because they are very important. But to talk about pilot skills, I have to talk about weapons first. In Front Mission First, there are 4 types of weapons. Melee, like fists or knuckles. Short weapons, which are essentially rifles or machine guns. Long weapons, which are basically just missiles, and then dodge, which is just kind of shields. There is also a multi-type, which is like a special grenade launcher and some other jazz, but what honestly matters the most are these 4 main types, and pilots have affinities for these types. The more that they use a particular type of weapon, the more experience points they will gain for it, and then at certain levels they will unlock a pilot battle skill, which is a permanent skill that can be used in making that type of weapon more effective. Now to note, you will always gain XP whenever an attack occurs. So if you're attacking, you will get XP. If you're being attacked and you dodge, you will gain XP. Either way, you will gain XP no matter what. And I know someone will say this because I mentioned now those 4 main types have skills. As far as I know, just like the originals, dodge does not have any skills, at least to my knowledge as of now. So that might change in the future. If it has, please let me know in the comments below. So anyway, to sum it up, you learn pilot skills from using certain types of weapons a lot, and each pilot can only learn 5 skills, and yes, they are permanent, so it's a good idea to have certain pilots invest in certain types of weapons in order to get their maximum ability. Now do note though, that In order to have them do this, you will have to have your Wanzers customized in certain ways that will maximize their skills. So let's talk about what Wanzers are. These are basically the huge mechs that you can customize in great detail. I mean, you can change things like colors and names, but most importantly are the parts. As you change your parts, not only will your Wanzer change design, but its stats will adjust. In general, these stats are incredibly straightforward. DF is defense, or damage reduction. HP is your health or your life. AT is your attack damage. Hit is your accuracy. And move is how far you can move on the map. The two big ones that need a little bit more discussion are power and weight. Power is essentially the maximum weight of parts you can have equipped, and weight is the amount of power used essentially. So as long as your weight doesn't exceed your power, you can field a Wanzer on the field. Pro tip: the larger the gap between the power and the weight, the more bonus move you can get. So a lighter weight Wanzer can actually get bonus movement from this difference, which can be very helpful in some levels. And just to add it in here, there are actually two additional parts: CPUs and backpacks. CPUs support weapon skills. Basically, the higher the weapon skill, the more effective it is overall. And backpacks are basically used to add extra item slots or other supportive skills. Backpacks do not impact your Wanzer weight, so you should probably always use one if you have one on everyone. To sum it up real quick, while simple, Front Mission 1 offers a load of customization and provides an old school traditional tactics RPG without any crazy bells, whistles, or gimmicks that modern ones generally have. Due to its simplicity, it's fairly easy for players, even newer ones, to understand very quickly, so it's good. Okay, so Front Mission First Remake is an old school game. It is strict, however it is very fair. The AI in the game is fairly straightforward, to be honest. It works to close the gaps, and then it tries to group target some units. Occasionally it doesn't really do all that much, but in general the AI does try to win, and it does not cheat. The real reason, or the big thing that keeps coming up about this in the reviews and about how the game is not all that good, is accuracy. And a lot of people who play tactics RPGs are not used to having accuracy in a non-XCOM game. Accuracy plays a huge role in Front Mission 1, and it is important to keep your eye on it when you're building your Wanzers. Depending on the type that you build, this will greatly impact how you want to deal with accuracy. Example, let's say you're going to build a missile-based Wanzer, like a long-range type. You will want to get arm parts and other parts that will do well in boosting your hit. This will allow you to make sure your missiles always hit their targets. If you're going for a more armored melee brawler, then you probably want to focus more on defense, which in turn will lower your hit percentage, or will lower your accuracy. Just because this happens, it's okay, because you'll be so armored that the AI will not, they will not be able to do damage to you because your defensive rate will be so high. So you're going to have to balance out the type of Wanzers you make with the necessary stats that you need. Do note that I did mention the AI does not cheat, so the AI is just as likely to miss as much as you do. Sometimes I've missed 4 attacks in a row, and the AI has also missed 4 attacks in a row. From a gameplay design, this could be a little frustrating because nothing is really happening, but the game tries to clear this up by having instant battle and instant move modes to make the process go a little bit more smoothly and more quickly. I will admit that at later levels, the AI will continue to upgrade and use more powerful Wanzers, but honestly, you should be doing that as well. That is the main mechanic of the game, is your Wanzer customization. Overall, honestly, I can't fault the game for its difficulty, nor its AI. They will use stronger ones, you will use stronger ones. The challenge provided is always fair, and you are always given more than enough resources to get better Wanzer parts if you need to. Again, if you don't get enough money through your main mission campaigns, you have the arena that you can do some pretty easy farming to get extra money. So in either case, you're going to always be good to go. Okay, so 2 big things here. First, weapon skills. If your pilot is a short weapon user, like machine guns, rifles, you want the dual skill. This will allow you to target any part of a Wanzer with your short weapon. If you are a long weapon user, you want the guide skill. This will allow you to target any part of a Wanzer with your missile weapon. If you are a melee user, you want double and first. This will let you attack twice and you will attack first, basically letting you get KOs left and right without any Wanzer touching you. Second, XP farming. You can farm, you can grind, it's actually pretty simple. The main way to do it is you need to find a mission with a supply truck. Now, I didn't mention these before, but supply trucks can sometimes occur in some missions, and they basically restore broken parts, life, and ammo. Basically, what you should be doing is try to damage the enemy enough for them to fall back to their supply truck to repair themselves. Then keep them at that truck just by using your guide and dual skills, break their non-body parts, rinse and repeat, and you will just gain loads upon loads of XP. As long as you keep that chain going, I should say. By chance, if you haven't learned guide or duel, then use a machine gun for the spread fire and low damage. Do your best to hit as many parts as you can, wait for them to fall back, then bam, repeat. Pretty straightforward. This is honestly what I've been itching for, an actual remaster of a classic tactics RPG that is unburdened by new design philosophy. This may not be for everyone, given its age, but it is an excellent remaster and well worth checking out if you're a fan of big mechs, war plots, or tactics RPGs. For veterans, you'll be getting exactly what you're looking for. Old school tactics RPG gameplay, and if you're a front mission fan, you are getting what you're buying. For newbies and for newer comers, honestly, it's a new experience. It is very easy to pick up, and it will offer a reasonable challenge as it progresses. But when this challenge comes up, don't lose heart. Just take a breath, look about how to change up your Wanzer setup, think about changing the way you progress through a level, and just give it a go. You're always given a stern but fair chance. All right. Well, thank you so much for checking out this video. I am, again, super happy to be able to play this game, and thank you so much again to Forever Games for making this game a reality. I never thought we would get a front mission title ever again, especially the old ones being brought back, so I am definitely be talking about Second when it comes out. I just cannot wait for that, and honestly, if these two do good, you know what that means, Front Mission 3 down the line, so all right, good job. And yeah, as for the channel, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to drop a like. And if you really want to support me and the channel, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. It's the best way for you to send your love. And let me know down in the comments below your thoughts about Front Mission. Have you played the series before? Are you happy the series is back? Is this game everything that you wanted from Front Mission Remake? Or was there something more you might have been looking for? Anyway, this is Sho, and I will catch you in the next video. Cheers!